Hey everyone, Chris here. Thank you for tuning in and got a quick little tech review for you. So I found myself to be in a market for a new smartphone. I currently have an Asus Zenfone 2, which I love, but it is kind of big. So I actually wanted to get something a little bit smaller, and I also didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I found this. It's a Virtue 2, and I believe it's pronounced FIGO. It could be FIGO, but I'm going to stick with FIGO. Real quick look at the box. You can see right here it's 8 gigabytes of storage. The picture of the phone on the front does not really indicate what's inside because I did not order blue. I got the white one. Here's the color choices available. Other side you can see it's got a 4-inch capacitive touchscreen, 5 vivid color selection, these guys again. It's got a 1 gigahertz quad-core processor, 5 megapixel rear camera, 4G capable, dual SIM support, which is a selling point for me because I have 2 SIMs in my current phone, one for personal, one for work. It has micro SD card support, so it can expand on that 8 gigabyte internal storage, and then it comes with Android 5.1 Lollipop. Alright, so opening up the box, take a look at the contents. Here we have the phone, and it is in a protective sleeve, so we can take that off. There is a protective cover on the front, and it just kind of reiterates all the specs that were on the box. And initial thoughts, it's very lightweight, extremely lightweight, so much so that I think my son may have toy play phones that weigh more than this, so that is a concern. The feel, you can see it is white. The feel, it's a matte white, it's not gloss. It's not really hard plastic either. It's kind of got like a rubbery feel to it. So putting that aside, other contents include a thank you for your purchase. And if seal is broken, check on. So this probably should have been on the outside of the box if seal is broken. Alright, so we're going to open this up, or just rip it open, either or. And here we have, those are the headphones. This is the wall charger. And this is the USB cable. Here's the battery. And the instruction manual. Okay, so besides just being another label with the specs on it, it's also the cover for a protective film or screen protector. So if we just pull this off, the screen underneath already has a protector on it. Actually, it looks like 2 because we can pull this off too. Oh, that's interesting. This might actually be the screen protector itself, but it has this tab on it. So if you pull the tab, you take the protective screen off entirely. That is a little ridiculous. It has a bunch of air bubbles in it to begin with, so I'm just going to pull it off, and maybe I can custom cut a screen protector myself. Alright, so we're going to pop this open so we can put the battery in. And right down here in the bottom corner there's a little tabbed area or cutout area we can kind of stick your fingernail into to pull this apart. Okay, with the back cover pulled off, it reveals the battery area right here. Your SD card or micro SD card goes right here, and here's your 2 SIM slots. Now I'm not sure if you can see it. One thing that I'm concerned about right out of the gates is that your SIM 1, it's got a label here that says 3G, and then over here SIM 2 says 2G. So even though the box said 4G, I'm worried that those 2 SIMs might be limited. I guess we'll pop the SIMs in and take a look. Alright, so I just put the battery in. Let's see if there's enough juice to get this thing started. And there we go. So the power button here is on the left. You have your volume on the right, and the USB port is actually on the top, which is interesting. I've always had it on the bottom with my other phones. Alright, so what I'll probably end up doing, I'm going to pop my two SIM cards in and put in my micro SD card. I'm going to probably use this phone for maybe about a week, and then come back to this video and just provide you with more thoughts and opinions of operation. You know, how long does the battery last? What's the call quality? We'll try taking some pictures and some videos. So just bear with me, and we're going to do a little bit of time travel to the future. Alright, so I've been using this phone for a couple days now, so I figured it's safe for me to resume the video with my final thoughts and opinions on the phone. So with the battery in the phone, it does add a little bit of weight to it, a little more heft. So it doesn't really feel like a toy anymore. It is still lightweight, but it actually feels like a phone now. That being said, the battery is much smaller than I was used to with my other phones. So just as an example, when I wake up in the morning, I grab my current phone or my other phone, and I would check the weather. I would play my music through my phone on the drive to work. And then when I get to work, the battery was probably like at 90, 92, 93%. And with this phone, when I pulled into work, I was already down to 70%. So the battery drain definitely happens a lot quicker on this phone. I am noticing that some of the programs also were a little bit more sluggish. Let's go ahead and log in here for you. One thing in regards to typing, the key recognition was actually pretty decent. I just had a little problem with accessing the P key because it's over here to the right. I'm not sure if it's just because of my finger, I wasn't hitting correctly, or if it's too close to the edge of the screen, but hitting that P was a little bit tricky. I installed a little notepad program on here to help keep notes about what I found, and of course it comes up instantly now, but before it seemed like it was taking too much long for just a simple notepad app to open up. And I noticed accessing certain websites, or actually any websites through the Google Chrome browser, just seemed to be taking longer on this phone than it did on my other phone. Another thing that I found here, on the back, here's the speaker. It's a small speaker, so I wasn't expecting too much out of it, but the quality actually is pretty bad. Yeah, it just seems like too much power going through it, and the audio is, yeah, it just suffers. Also, I like to keep the phone on vibrate, and the vibrate motor is pretty weak. Most of the time I wouldn't hear the vibrate and wouldn't feel the vibrate either. So there's a flashing light up here when you get a text, so I could see texts were coming through, just the vibrate really wasn't the quality that I was hoping for. Another thing, this is a dual SIM phone, so I can make calls from either SIM, my personal SIM or my work SIM, but I did not expect to be limited for sending text. I can only send text from the SIM card that's in slot 1. And then also in regards to the cameras on the phone, I wasn't expecting the best. It was a 5 megapixel camera in the back. The front-facing camera, I believe, was 2 megapixels. And the quality just wasn't there. I kind of expected the quality to be similar to like my original iPhone 4. Because I believe that was a 5 megapixel camera. But yeah, the quality just wasn't there. It was unfortunate. So I don't think, I have a young son. He's a year and a half. So I'm going to be wanting to taking pictures of him, taking video of him. And I'm just not going to get good quality pictures from this phone, which is unfortunate. Another thing I found, I don't know if it's just app specific. I was having GPS issues on this. I have a weather app on here that determines my location and gives me the appropriate weather. For whatever reason, it could not determine my location. So at first I just thought the GPS was junk, but then I went into Google Maps, and Google Maps knew where I was. So so maybe it's hit or miss depending on the program, but I never had a problem with GPS on my phones before. So final thoughts, it's not the best phone by any means. I'm not going to be using this phone to replace my current Asus phone. I do like the size of the phone. I really wanted to like this phone. I like the size. I like the phone itself. The phone, it feels like it already has a protective case on it. It's really just the phone, but it feels like it's protected, like an OtterBox case. So I like the like almost rubbery non-slip grip of it. But yeah, there was unfortunately, there's too many bad things about it for me to commit to this being my primary phone. I didn't have high hopes going into this. Well, I did. I had better expectations than what I got. Retail wise, I saw this phone going for roughly $100. Some places had it at 80, 90. That was a full suggested retail price. A lot of places are selling it for around $50. I managed to pick this up for $40, and it feels like a $40 phone. It does not feel like a $100 phone. So yeah, that's it. I guess I'll keep it as an extra phone in case something happens with mine, it breaks, and I'll need to use something temporarily until I get a better phone. But I cannot commit to this being a primary phone. Maybe if you want to get a first phone for maybe your teenager, this could be a good starter phone. But beyond that, I can't recommend it. If you have any specific questions, please let me know. As always, comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.